Okay, folks, here we go. And Rick's here. Rick's here and nobody but Rick. I'm going to try to stay awake. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this for. The girls had an invite for dinner. How's my hair doing? Okay? Let's put a freaking hat on. You got the whole chat to yourself. That's right. You're even allowed to argue with yourself. Just don't lose the argument. I mean, everybody second guesses themselves. Arguing is the next step, the next natural step. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay awake because I could almost go to bed, and it's just 8 o'clock. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's do a... Uh-oh. What's going on here? What's the meaning of this? How did the showings go this weekend? So... Oh, hold on a second. Be nice if I press the right buttons. Nothing yet, but... One thing that's really interesting is that you get a glimpse of who's coming in off the ring bell. And there's several people that have come in. We've probably had, I don't know, 8 or 9 showings so far. 8 or 9 different people. And about a third of them come in arguing. It's like, it's not exactly a bonding experience to buy a house. And let's just say that my wife was surprised how many bitchy women come in. Before I forget, did you guys watch the video? Speaking of ring bell, did you guys watch the video? Get some more air in here. Of that house that exploded in Pennsylvania? I mean, it just literally exploded. If it had got hit by a bomb, it would have done less damage. And I came across that on Sunday. And then what really surprised me is this town, which is called Plum, Pennsylvania. It is a suburb of Pittsburgh. This is the 3rd time it's happened in like 5 years. Like, what the hell? I'd be like, I'm not living anywhere in that state. Literally, if they dropped a bomb on the house, it would have done less damage. So, wow, that was just apocalyptic. Apocalyptic. My wife's always worried about sinkholes. Oh, there's going to be a sinkhole in Florida. Well, we haven't had any in our neighborhood. I mean, I guess it could happen anywhere, but... 1 billion pieces? Yeah, probably actually more than 1 billion pieces. It was absurd. And if you watch the ring bell video, it looks fake. It looks totally fake. Like, okay, that really didn't happen. I guess when you're watching special effects in movies from now on, you're like, when things look fake, that might actually be exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so we left off here on stage 4. We've done with stage 4. We got to go to stage 5. We got to do 2 of these. Okay, 16A and 15A is what they consist of. Are these black pieces? Black pieces on these generally are the undercarriage. That's the B sprue. This is the E sprue. This is the A sprue. Well, I guess they're black. Oh, there's 2 A sprues. Okay, 16 and 16. All right, let's pop both of those off. And then they say, oh, it could take a long time to figure out what went on, even years. I'm like, well, that just smells of government cover-up. And then I'm looking deeper, and apparently that area had old mines, old gas mines and stuff like that. And yeah, I wouldn't want to live anywhere near that. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Apocalyptic. Okay, and the other piece is 15A. 16, 15. Well, one thing that really surprised me that I also found out recently, this is a current events. This is a current events episode. Is I heard it was announced a couple days ago that they are not holding a Cold Wars convention in March. I think it's normally in March. It got canceled. Why? Nobody wants to run it. I guess they couldn't get anybody to run it, and the guy that's running Historicon's already running Fall, and he doesn't want to run a third one. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to run any of them. Hey, let's take some time off to go to game convention. Cool, you gonna play games? No, I'm just gonna be pestered by everybody. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so where the hell's my X-Acto knife? Not cool. Did it get commandeered for something else? Yesterday we had a morning session, and then I spent the rest of the day putting together with the wife all kinds of stuff for the daughter to take to college. And it probably got commandeered to go to somewhere else. Okay, well, I know where there is one. I'll be right back. I've brought the one from the garage that I normally keep out there. And as soon as I came around the corner, look where the other one is, hiding behind a computer. I can't make this shit up. Well, now we got two of them here. No Cold Wars. Yeah, no Cold Wars. That's what I hear. Doesn't affect me. I've never been to Cold Wars. It's the wrong time of the year. As a matter of fact, that's one of those conventions that a couple of years ago, people weren't able to get back home because they were snowed in because of the air travel. That would be a good one for me to miss, not because I hate snow, but because, it's hard enough to take time from work. I certainly need to get back when scheduled. I don't have a big interest in going to Historicon again, to be honest with you. It just doesn't seem like a good value. But anyways, getting back to the daughter, assembled all kinds of stuff from IKEA and shit like that for her dorm. I don't know that I'd be able to share a room with somebody. I don't care who the other person is. I wouldn't want to share a room with my wife, and we do, but the thing is there's more than just that one room. It's not like you're stuck in the room. But that's what she wants, so. Better her than me. I can just tell you right now, I would not be a good candidate to be on something like MTV's Real World. Absolutely not. You popped up, and the first thing you hear is sharing a room with someone. Yeah, you've shared a room with somebody, haven't you? You stayed in a hotel room with somebody? Well, imagine doing that for a couple semesters. No thanks. Nordic, what the hell's going on in Pennsylvania where the house is blowing up? Is yours next? It's a good reason not to have a basement. I'm sure that having a basement made that even worse. So I was reading, that whole area had like old mines and stuff. And you know, when they have gas, they pump a stink in gas, right? So you know when you have a gas leak. And then some people extrapolated that. You don't know what I'm talking about? You need to stop what you're doing right now. Go anywhere on the internet and look for house explosion, Plum, Pennsylvania. It's a suburb of Pittsburgh, and there's a video on a ring bell. You should just go to my Facebook page. I posted it on there. It's insane. It is insane. It's all Rick's doing. No, all the late night snacks that he eats, if he just saved all the farts and lit them, it wouldn't be that explosive. It is apocalyptic. I'm telling you, it's like taking a battleship shell, with like no crater. Well, the crater's flat. So it literally blew up one house, caught another two on fire. Apocalyptic. So anyways, they were saying that whole area was old mines and stuff like that. And what someone was speculating was that, they're so old that they probably did not have a smell with the gas. So it could have just filled up with gas. But I mean, the gas has got to be like in a room where people aren't, because even if gas doesn't have a smell, to have that kind of concentration of gas, you'd pass out from it. There wouldn't be enough oxygen left to breathe to have that kind of a concentration. Like if you took this house and you pumped this house full of whatever gas is super explosive, right? I don't think there's a good enough seal everywhere on the house to keep it compressed in here. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, it's like taking a freaking... I've never seen anything like it. So, you would know immediately if gas was in the air, but not if it's old gas that was before they put a stink in it. I don't know. Like maybe a mine that was closed, 80 years ago or something. I don't know. I'd be moving out of that neighborhood. I wouldn't want to live anywhere near there. Fortunately, this house and my adjoining neighbors have electric stoves, so no gas. I have gas, but I don't think you could, my gas has a smell in it. I don't think you could. That's unbelievable. That's just unbelievable. Just be a ticking time bomb. I mean, one moment it's there, half a second later it's gone. It's just evaporated. Well, I'm not a fan of gas. I'm honestly scared of lighting the pilot light. I had to do it one time. And I'm scared of freaking messing with a propane thing on a barbecue thing. I'll mess with all the firearms in the world. But gas is just spooky. That's some spooky shit. Sad that a 12-year-old was killed. That's way young to die in such a horrid way, too. Yep. What about the rest of the people in that neighborhood? Like, shit, that could happen to my house. All right, sell it. Nobody's going to buy your house. You might as well just stop making payments to the bank, walk away. Just walk away, you're alive, you know? We have a house in our neighborhood. It's one, two, three. It's 3 or 4 houses down and across the street. It's 3 houses down and across the street. And the guy that lived there is a guy from China. And I used to talk to him all the time because he had a daughter that was the same age as mine. And we go to the pool, when the girls were 5, 6 years old. And the people in the neighborhood didn't like him. Not because he was from China, but because he was running a business out of his garage. He sold solar powered water heaters or solar powered panels or something. And they would have the big delivery truck like Saya or now I can't think of any of the freight delivery companies. But tractor trailer would come in, back into his house, unload, fill his entire garage. His entire garage was full of panels and stuff like that. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that in this neighborhood. So he's doing that for a while. Everybody's getting angry at him. Sold his house. Somebody buys his house. A couple years later, there's this couple that used to own an Italian restaurant in town that was really, really good. This couple with the restaurant buys the house. A couple years go by. We're on vacation, and one of our neighbors says, "Hey, did you know one of our houses is in the fire? One of the houses in your neighborhood's on fire." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, houses don't catch on fire, okay? It's just not something that normally happens. It's just a fluke, there has to be something gone really wrong. Like a lightning strike, Rick decides to cook for the first time. It's got to be like a significant reason why something catches on fire. They just don't randomly catch on fire, right? It could happen, but it's an extremely freak-ish situation. So he sends this video. There's the people that were across the street from him. There's 6 and 7 foot flames that are coming off the top of the roof of this house. And the very first thing in my mind I thought of is, yep, this fucker did his own wiring. The guy that was selling solar panels, he did his own wiring in the attic, put up solar panels up there, and overloaded it or burnt the plastic off the wires, and that caught there's all kinds of stuff in the attic that can catch fire. Insulation and shit like that. Insulation, I'm sure, goes up like cotton candy. It's basically what it is. It's itchy cotton candy you can't eat. It probably tastes about as good as cotton candy because cotton candy is terrible. But house caught fire. The people had to move out. That happened about every bit of 7 or 8 years ago. The house is still there. It's still like abandoned. It's like, so like the house, like the roof burnt, but you still had the rafters and stuff like that. So it would rain and it wasn't covered. So like rain got in the house and shit like that. It's just like, that's somebody's writing that off, or it just doesn't make any sense that something like that hasn't been fixed. But it's basically at this point has to be leveled. You got to like level the place and like just start over, because whatever's in there, you got like black mold to the max, I'm sure. you know. The apartment complex near me has gone up in flames 3 times in the last 4 years. Man, you need to stop. You need to stop cooking like that and order takeout. One, because a meth lab went up in flames. Yes, the house was definitely built with the games as priority 1, maybe 2. I built a house to house my magic items. I built a house to house my books, have a house for my gems, house in every city because you never know where I will be in Skyrim. You got to go to like a different city just to get your gems and stuff like that? I don't know. One day maybe Skyrim will be free and I'll download it and then see what it's all about. But I got plenty on my plate. I don't need to. Is it anything like Elder Scrolls? Because I really hated Elder Scrolls. Morrowind or whatever the hell it was. What about people that are like really organized in games? Actually, I knew somebody like that. I knew somebody that was super anal retentive in his games. Like, for instance, you know, you'd go in, you'd have some inventory thing, and you'd have all of these spears all in one place, and then the arrows over here, perfectly stacked. His real house in 1-to-1 scale was a shit show, okay? But his virtual house, everything was like completely in order. Are there lots of, is that commonly what it is? Building all these seats, and then we're going to cover this with the net. You're not going to be able to see it. Got me. I'm contemplating stealing every sweet roll in the game and put them in a house just because. That's a huge problem in a lot of tabletop RPGs too. Well, people that are disorganized in real life. Let me ask you this. If you like Morrowind and Elder Scrolls, do you like Minecraft too? Because it reminded me of Minecraft. It was all like blocky and shit. Like I was playing Quake or something. Which, by the way, I always hate. I always liked id's stuff. Big fan of Doom. Never cared for Quake. Yeah, don't send him on another rant. He might start throwing tanks or something. He doesn't have that many models. Oh, man. It is the base of this thing here. Have I identified exactly which version is? I've only played one, okay? And I probably played it. Let's see, I was still living in the condo, I think. So I would have played it before 2003. And I played it on the original Xbox. I'm pretty sure. And I rented it from Blockbuster. And I just really disliked it. It's got to be like the very first one they did. And then I tried to play another one that looked pretty cool that had a really, really big fan base. And it was just like a soup sandwich of races. You know, you had like dragons that talked. You know, you had people that were like, you know, dragonborns or whatever. And, you know, like green dwarves. And it's just like, man, can we just like have humans fighting bad things? The one I don't remember what it's called that I would be willing to try is this one that I don't remember what it is. It's got kind of a simple sounding name. Where you play some kind of character in like Bohemia in like the 1400s. And you literally go on like duels and shit like that. And, you know, fight bandits and that kind of stuff. Looks interesting. You'll throw the damn chick kitchen sink. That was Morrowind. It wasn't the first one they did, but it was the first console Elder Scrolls game. I hated it. I hated it. Sorry. I was the one guy that hated it. Unpopular opinion. I like things. I dislike things that lots of people like. You know? I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm just, you know. Just like, I'm sick and tired of hearing how many people like Kelly's Heroes. I'm like, really? You like that movie with that damn hippie movie? The hippie soundtrack? Come on, man. You hate Puma. You hate the Puma, and you think Hannibal was a second-rate commander. Well, he was, and Alexander was a third-rate. I don't think the Puma was a good vehicle. I think it just has some sleek lines on it. It's the armored car version of the Panther, really. I think having a two-man turret is just stupid. Alexander would out General Hannibal any day of the week and twice on Sunday, before or after his drinking binge. Oh, man. We never did get a chance to do that whole series that I was going to do is have Alexander fight all of Hannibal's enemies and have Hannibal fight all of Alexander's enemies. Probably never will do it now. Oh boy, this has got a bunch of little parts in here. Okay, 14E. That thing looks tiny. E, that is a gray piece, I believe. E. 14. Here's that little thing. Okay, 9E. Better use the nippers for these. 6E. The steering wheel. That's a strange place for the steering wheel to be in the turret. I call bullshit. Something's not right there. All right. This connects like that. Disconnects like this. Good Lord. What a bunch of finicky crap. This is going to connect like so. And the steering wheel connects off of that. All this dangles off of this thing. All right, well, the first thing I'm going to make sure, does this fit on something like this? Yeah, okay, I think I'm going to have to set this on top of because all these pieces dangle off the bottom of it. So let's go ahead and set 6E off this turret to begin with, off this ring mount. Hey, it's the Hoffman. You on air sign? Yeah, I've only had it for about a month. Where you been, man? Bunch of megalodons. I hate megalodons. You know why? They look the same as a great white shark. Well, they're not the same. They're bigger. They look the same. They look the same. I'm a big dinosaur fan and stuff like that, but, you know, some things are just lame. You know? I like the Jurassic Park movies, but I ain't watching them for a raptor. Okay? Dinosaurs ain't freaking 6 foot tall, human sized. I mean, yes, they are, but that's not the ones I give a crap about. Yeah, it's been a while, man. You've been hiding from the Texas heat. Today was a record. It got to 125 degrees, feel like. And then it rained. Thank goodness. Whew. We got to be careful this little bastard doesn't fly. Let's take a tip from... Let's get a new stickum. That'll be attached to the bottom. $260 is not stupid expensive, just so you know. So I hear these stories of, let me back up. If I could make it 50 degrees in the house, I would. All right, now with that said, I can't ever drop it more than 72. I can't. I'll either freeze the unit or it'll cost too much. And I'm actually fine with it being 72. At night, we live at 74 in the daytime with all the fans on high. And it's fine in here, you know, because of the fans. Now, when I stay in a hotel room, I will drop it as low as it'll go because there's no fans. So you don't have air circulation. So because you don't have air circulation, you have to compensate by making it colder. And I'm usually not comfortable in hotel rooms because there's no air circulation. Or not enough for me. But $250, that's typical. That's typical how much it is for utilities here. And that's with the new air conditioner. I got a $500 bill one time. And I'm telling you, we weren't keeping it any colder than 72. You know? So. The other Sunday prices went up 800% for that day. Replace innocent with guilty and bystander with instigator, and you got that statement right. So, guilty instigator. So, I'm kind of in limbo right now. I'm wanting to work on stuff, but I'm not wanting to work on anything that's so complex that I'm going to have to turn my room inside out and pull things out of my closet because we're in the middle of, surprise house showings. Like, we got a call this morning. I was already at work. They call the wife, says, "Hey, can we see the house today at 9 in the morning?" I'm like, "It's like 8. Well, the guy texted us really late in the evening. No, they can make it at 10. So she rushed to kind of put everything back together and be able to make that. So we're kind of in limbo. The nice thing about being in limbo is there is not one thing out of place in the house. So I really like that. It is like mental therapy to have a house that's all like picked up. And we don't really have a messy house anyways, but there's not any shoes by the door or anything. So this is an exercise in futility, putting this thing on there. It's just ridiculous. Like you're not even going to see that. Where are these people from, Rodan? Poland? Come on, man. Get with the program. Yeah, we have an opportunity. We're testing the market. We have an opportunity. We have an unusual opportunity to assume another loan that is a ridiculously low rate at a house that we like that's someone my wife knows. So that's kind of the catalyst for it all. But if we don't get to move, it's okay. It's not like I hate this house or anything. Never use Mr. Hobby S cement. It's utter garbage. It smells like crap. Happy Monday. Yeah. You never used any cement. The weathering didn't work out. So, you know how people say, I've heard people say that Games Workshop does people a disservice by showing these models that are painted incredible. And it doesn't really matter whether you are a fan of Games Workshop or not. I'm not a fan of their business model. It's not consumer friendly, and it's not friendly for my time. But they have some stellar people that do their paint their stuff on and off of the Games Workshop payroll. They have some stellar people that do their stuff. I just glued this fucking thing on wrong. I did, didn't I? All right, we got to turn the whole thing 90 degrees. Welcome to the We Continue Fucking Up channel. Well, this is why you don't use super glue. Let's bring this back alive. Which will probably drop it out of there. Okay, no big deal. It gives me any trouble, I'll just not install it. It's not even visible. Well, now I can't even tell where it went. Well, I had two little things, but I welded it, and now they're all one piece. We're leaving it off for now. Executive decision. Well, technically, you didn't finish the model if you didn't build all the pieces on it. Hey, I got something for you. So we've been in this house for 20 years, and we just don't want to put any more money in it. You know, there's some things that are going to come up that are, you know, nothing we can do about it. It's going to cost dumping some money in it. And we have this kind of unusual opportunity to assume somebody else's loan that is just stupid low interest rate. So, extremely low single digit. So, that's kind of the catalyst. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know. Because this is not the time to buy a house. I don't know if there's been a worse time to buy a house since I've been working. I'm not going to say in my lifetime. I'm going to say since I've been working, I don't think there's been a worse time to buy a house. But somehow people are doing it, you know. It's still better than renting. Tony keeps getting you. No, he wasn't that great. He was just better than Alexander. Guy who played a jester that openly taunted a Dracolich while sitting cross-legged on its head. All right. Okay, so these pieces, there's two tabs on the bottom of this. Which fit like that. You can't see the damn steering wheel. Like, why even have people put it in there? That should fit in there just fine. A little bit here. A little bit there. if this is supposed to be flush with it, but for extra stability, I'm going to glue it down. That way we've got more points of contact on this. All right, what goes next? Put the top of the turret on. Hey, you can't put figures in here. Okay. All right, the top of this thing is right here. And I'll put it on there, but we're not putting those things because we're doing that last. That's the very last thing I'm doing in the entire build. And I'm going to do that when I'm nice and fresh. That's messing with nylon and stuff. Guess all the stuff we're doing on the edge isn't turning out. Damn it! Where's my producer? Okay, this sits like this. Looks like the fit's okay. Legend of Legaia. You're naming a bunch of games I've never heard of before. That I'm not really much of a gamer, though. If I could buy any computer game that I wanted to, or console game, and it was free, I don't know that I'd play very many more than the ones I already play. It just takes time. Okay, and the chairs face forward, so they face forward like so. My producer doesn't even know who freaking Alexander is. Alright, the 20mm cannon sits on top of this thing. I bet the back of this goes in that little hole right there. Looks like it to me. And I bet it'll touch there too. Okay, and the MG3042, the MG42 sits on this side. And it looks like I'm going to have to put that in first. So we'll probably be popping that thing out of the way and moving it over. All right, that thing is going to need to go. It seems extremely impractical to put it there. I got to see how this is installed because let's see here. Let's look at SDKFZ 234/1 turret. Images. Okay, here's a good one. I thought it was a good one. Here's a set from Edouard. This should do it right here. Here we go. Okay, so only like the butt is sticking out of the back. So like that. Now we can put that 20mm cannon. Okay, good. As we were. All right, pair of two A's. The A sprue is it black? I guess it's got to be. Yep. That one right there. And the same piece on the other sprue. Final Fantasy. Never played any of them. Seemed like an extremely linear game, is it? Seems extremely linear. Like as linear as... What was that cartoon video game that they had back in the early 80s? Dragon's Lair. Maybe not that restrictive. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if anything could be that restrictive. That's just insane. Like, okay, you can only do this and you can only do this at this one spot. JRPGs are usually linear. I'm out. That's one of the things I really dislike about games is, I want to be walking around and go, I wonder what's up in that house. So go check it out. Now, there might be something really big that'll freaking eat you or worse. But at least you can go check it out. Same thing with racing games. I don't mind racing games. I just don't want to play on a course. I want to be like, real free world. I bet you can't even customize what your character looks like, can you? It's like they're stuck looking like that. Burnout Paradise? No, I think I played it. I didn't like it. I'm not a fan. I don't dislike, what is it, the Horizon, whatever? What's it called? Forza Horizon. I don't dislike that, although they're kind of limited in scope. I generally like, games like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, any of those that you're just like, there's things you got to do, but then you can also like putz around and not do them, You can just kind of just be. I didn't like, what was it, the it was one where you were like some kind of racing clan or whatever. The worst game of all time that I've ever played. Even worse than, was it worse than Soldier Kings? It probably was worse than Soldier Kings. The absolute worst game I think I've ever played in my entire life, board game, video game, was I downloaded a demo of what's it called? Something Dogs. It's called Something Dogs. I don't know what it is. And it's basically like these hackers that... Oh, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Watch Dogs. That's what that is. Worst game I've ever played in my entire life. I think I played the demo for like 30 seconds. Jason Argonaut's PS3 is pretty terrible. Paw Patrol. I hated having to drive around, fight the next race. Just give me a menu, let me choose the course. Well, people like different things. Do you like boss fights? I hate boss fights. I hate stuff where it's like, you got to do this and you have to do it this way and that's that. You know? I'm fine with, that's the best way to do it. And if you go other ways, you probably won't be successful, but at least you have the option. Okay, so this turret is complete. We're going to move this off to the side. Maybe I'll get inspired and super glue that or epoxy that into place. All right, we got the hull here. Rainbow Speedway. That sounds like a fruity race. Gibbs playing as Wario. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. I can't believe stuff like Mario Kart's popular. I would never play. I don't like any of the Mario games. Like I said, I like playing games because they're violent. I'm a pacifist every day. I am not a Nintendo fan. I like violent video games. But I can't play them for a long period of time. After an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Can we do something else? I'd rather play Morrowind. I just didn't like the way Morrowind looked. And I don't mind fantasy. I prefer fantasy to science fiction. Much, much more. I much prefer fantasy to science fiction. But just because I like something doesn't mean it's, necessarily popular. I mean, if it was up to me, there wouldn't be a single copy of Catan sold. And it's apparently a really popular game. Okay, let's see if this fits in here, or it's actually the other way around, isn't it? Maybe it isn't. Let's take these pieces off. I don't like games so difficult that you have to try the same thing over like 12 times. Then there's a free game that I ended up getting on the Xbox a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago, and it was called something like The Blaze and the Flood or something like that. And it's kind of a simple little isometric type game where you play this girl who's got to like grab resources and go, and it's kind of like a resource game management, and it's kind of simple, but I really like the way it looked, and I played it quite a bit, and I got pretty good at it. And then I turned a corner, and the game just got exponentially more difficult. And I'm like, it ramped up way too fast, the difficulty level on it. And I don't like playing games that are super, super, super difficult. They don't need to be cakewalks, but they also don't need to be super, super difficult, because I already got a job as pain to deal with, you know. Maybe if you live in mom's basement and she's, bringing you bologna sandwiches whenever you want, maybe you need a challenge in your damn life. But it just ramped up way too fast. There's another game that did that too, and I can't think of what it is. Oh, I know what it was. It was that VR thing, that Walking Dead VR game. You get pretty good at it, and you can deal with two zombies at the same time, maybe a third one, and you play keep away. And all of a sudden, I turned a corner, there was like 7 of them, and like freaking no place to go. You like clear areas, and there's no way they can get behind you, and you still freaking appear behind you. It's just like a freaking stress out. It's like, just got way too difficult. After playing it for, I don't know, 6 hours or something like that. It's not like, you couldn't make it past, 2 minutes or something. Different kind of games provide different kind of stress levels, and there's just some stuff I just don't want to deal with. I rented or downloaded this VR game where it's like basically like a Call of Duty type game. It's like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I don't remember what the hell it's called, but you play some guy that's in the sandbox somewhere. So you have this starting room you're in. You don't even know how to reload all your weapons and stuff. It's VR, right? You got a couple of joystick controllers here in your hands, and it's really pretty natural. It works really well, okay? But you don't know exactly, like you got to hold one button down while you have it down to switch a magazine, that kind of stuff. So I'm in this kind of a staging area, just kind of putzing around, and I'm in the game for, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Shoot this, do this to reload. Oh, okay. And I'm looking around, there's like a desk there. And there's a desk with a red button on it. And I'm like, well, let's press the red button and see what happens. Never press the red button to see what happens. Okay? And this is like a modern combat kind of game. And the next thing I know is there's this alarm that happens. And a gate somewhere off in the distance. It's pretty far away, but I can see where it is. There's like this area that leads up into the room that I'm in. I'm kind of like in this control room that has access points from all kinds of different places. And it's not really in a game. It's not like I'm in the middle of a level or anything. This is kind of like a menu area. His gate opens up, and I start hearing these zombie noises. And they're the slow zombies, thankfully. But they're coming closer. And I don't know how to, I've got like a pistol and an AR, and I don't know how to reload the damn thing. That was really stressful. That was extremely stressful. I'm like, I sent the game back. I'm like, I want my money back. I can't do that. When you play a game and it's harder to do things in a game than you know how to do in real life, it's stressful. When you can't figure out how to reload your pistol in a video game, but you can in real life, that's really, really stressful. And that's the one thing about those VR games. You'll fail a morale check. And maybe some people don't, but man, it's like personal. It's like, it's in your face, man. There's some scary shit. You'll get like startled by stuff. You're not even necessarily playing a game that's scary, because I don't play scary games, supernatural stuff. But just a regular game that's a type you've been playing for decades. You put it in VR, and the next thing you know, man, it's personal. They are chasing you. All right, let's try this thing both ways. I have a feeling it's like this, because in this drawing, this opening is like that. And the only way you can get that notch is being in this position. If you flip it over, it's going to be over here and there. So it's, of course, what I hadn't counted on is that it was flipped. But I think it's still that way. Yeah, I may actually need to come in from the bottom. Here we go. Man, you got to be careful when you put this turret on there. You don't, after it's built, you don't go down and press down on it and pop this thing all the way through. Okay, so this is going to go like this, glued in from the bottom side. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get rid of this paint that's distracted me. But again, I tend to play games that nobody else plays. I've never encountered somebody who's played that excellent zombie video game by that's on the Xbox called State of Decay. I don't know anybody who has the Oculus. Oh well. I remember back in the day, I wanted to get a console, and I was between getting the Xbox and the PlayStation. I guess it was the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2. I didn't know which one I was going to get. So I rented them both from Blockbuster. Back when you could do that. It seemed like the way to do it. I forget how much it cost. $20 or something like that. It was like, better than buying one and you don't like it. I rented them both. And I liked the Xbox more. And all the people that I knew had Xbox. They didn't have PlayStation. And at that time, I was actually a big Sony fan. I liked everything Sony. Okay, so this has got that glues in place right here. Give it another weld. All right, I have a couple 23As, which are the exhaust down here. I believe A was a black one. I suspect that one's on one side, one's on the other. Here's 23. And the other one's on the other side. Tiny little exhaust. goes there, one goes there. Which Mr. Hobby was the one you didn't have luck with? Was it S? I don't know which one I smelled. It smelled horrible, though. Mr. Hobby, I'm pretty sure it's Japanese. That Japanese thing out there, it doesn't work. Japanese stuff is normally excellent. Okay, I'm going to take the same tack that I did with the 231, and that is they want you to put all these tools and stuff on this fender. The problem is if you put them in the wrong place, meaning if you move them too far to the back, they won't be able to fit underneath here. So I'm going to actually put all this stuff on there after the it's attached to the actual vehicle. So I'm going to skip all these little pieces that go on here. I am going to put the ones that go on the outside and underneath, but not the ones that go on the top, because they're going to fit into this vehicle at a funky angle. Because this one, just like the 231, is tapered. Let's see if I can get a look at it. It's tapered. It's narrower here at the bottom than at the top. So, all right, let's take this piece out first. Man, you guys all went dormant, or did your posting privileges get revoked? I didn't see anybody post something in a while. I'll go ahead and pull this one off too. We'll set that one out of the way. Okay, this piece gets $15B. $21B. $16B. Okay, that one's missing, so it may actually be this piece, okay, and 18B. That's 15B. 21B is a little one. This one, and then the one on the end. All right, let's clean this thing up. And did I lose everybody? Oh, I didn't get all these things on here. I didn't see any of this stuff. All right, let me go back here. Jeez. Mr. Hobby, yes. Someone online claimed they'd never heard of using tweezers or clipping counters and thought it was because they were behind the times, like it was a new thing that youngsters did. When I played board games in the early 90s, nobody clipped the corners, or, I mean, you clipped the counters, but you didn't clip the corners. I like the way the corners clipped looked, personally. Counter clipping is decades old. I'm sure tweezers moved the counters. Frank Martin, welcome. Marcus is back. All right, let me switch back to this other one. Yeah, the chat thing froze. I don't know why. Yeah, I wasn't messing with it. The mysteries of the internets. Nobody used tweezers or clip counters in 1991 that I knew of. You know, there was no internet, or maybe there was, but normal people didn't have access to it. You couldn't share ideas with people. Oh, are we still frozen? Jesus Christ. Well, I don't have anything after 9:31, so. How's the kit? I don't know. They make you do a lot of stuff you shouldn't have to do. You got him built inside the turret, and you're not going to be able to see any of it. You know, it's all right for me because I'm not a complete idiot when it comes to building models, but definitely not user friendly. For new people friendly. A lot of these is the biggest problem is you just have to, if you just blindly go the way that they have it described, you're going to have the thing attached to the wrong place. Like, here's this fender, right? You got all these pieces that they want you to attach to it, but there's no like markings on here where one goes and the other one starts. So you're going to have to consult other stuff or run the risk of doing it wrong. You know, like, here's this piece, 15B. Okay, 15B is this one here. It says it goes underneath. Well, how does it go underneath? Does it go here? Yeah, that's how it goes underneath there. But it's just still kind of, it's just vaguish. All right, 21B is this little guy. Let's make sure let's check for fit and finish on this. That one goes towards the back. This one goes towards the front. That's strange. That doesn't seem right. That one's not right either. Did they tell me to put the wrong pieces on there? It's got the thing in the right place, but let's flip it on this one. See if it goes this way. See if this one fits in there. Well, that one looks like it fits in. That one should be 18B. And 18B is no longer here. So it's down here. Let's see if this one matches this one. It looks like 22 fits in here. Reminds me of the Fujimi kits. Yeah, they're a mess. I remember when you look at the Fujimi kits way back in the day, you're like, oh, these things have really good detail. And then they have all kinds of fiddly bits that you shouldn't have to do. Like this piece goes here. And this handle, there's like a little opening here. And it matches here towards the front. But it has a squared off section and a straight section. And the straight section needs to be over here, and it's on the back side here instead. So it would work if you flipped it, but if you flip it, then all that detail is in the wrong direction. So then if I use the other piece, okay, which is its mirror image, it'll fit in there okay. Look, it fits in there perfectly. However, the handle to it is towards the back of the panel, not towards the front as it's shown here. Wow. This is why I'm telling you it's not user friendly. I'll be able to solve this and make the best decision that I can and be comfortable with the decision I made, but you have somebody who's new at this, it's going to blow their mind. You know, some 14-year-old, I'm sure this is for 14-year-olds. Yeah, it's just not going to work. So what I need to look is I need to look at a picture of a 234/1 and see if these handles are towards the front of both of these panels. And it's late. It's late. So let's see if we can get... Oh, Tamiya makes a 234/1. Okay, it's towards the back on the front one. So that leads me to believe that this drawing is incorrect, where it shows it towards the front. It's actually the other piece that goes on here. I'm telling you, you can't just blindly go off a cliff. Okay, so this one fits. This one's going to fit like this, and it fits in there wonderfully like that. And the handle's towards the back. But now this panel here in the back has the opening towards the front of it. And this one is towards the front. But it doesn't fit in there. It won't fit in there. So again, we'll have to cut this piece out. It supposedly goes on the other piece, on the other side. Here it is, 22B. And that'll fit in there wonderfully. However, the handle to open it is towards the back of the piece, not towards the front. Oi. Okay, well, it is what it is. I mean, it fits in there perfectly. That's the piece that goes in there. I mean, it fits in there like a glove. And most of the rodent pieces actually fit on places like a rug once you figure out where the hell the rug's supposed to go. And this should be the one towards the front. No, it's definitely not that way. It's like this, long piece towards the back. And then this one goes like this. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Right. We'll attach these later. I'm going to stop right there for the night. I'm falling asleep. So, as always, thanks for stopping by, folks, and we'll finish up this 234. Where's the turret for it? We can at least drop it in there. I have two of these to build, so like I said, what I was surprised was when I read the instructions or the back history of this vehicle is they weren't used until mid '44 for the first time. I thought they came out a year earlier, but hell, what if I know? What do I know? Yeah, look at this. It has you put like steer wheels and stuff inside, and it has no hatch openings. You can't see that, so I'm probably not going to put them in there. So, all right, folks, we'll see you guys on the next one.